What's the reason you have been banned from an establishment such as a shop/bad/restaurant/cafe/etc.? This is how I got banned from Chuck E. Cheese. I figured out that I could take a ball from the game where you shoot the clown's teeth and use it at the skee-ball machine. The skee-ball machine would count the points but not the ball used, which enabled me to play forever with just one ball and max out the machine. I did it on 2 skee-ball machines before someone noticed and I got banned and kicked out. I have won, but at what cost? No more eating pizza near a sneezing child. The amount of illness in those places is unparalleled outside of a hospital setting. I remember when I was like 11 I asked my mom why she had stopped taking me to a place like that, asking if we could go again because I missed it. I figured her answer would be money related, but instead it was because I always came down sick a few days after we went. I had never connected the dots. Was banned from a mall arcade when I was a kid for holding all the whack-a-moles down. My roommates and I along with a few friends went out to a bar one night to drink. We had grown a single beautiful watermelon in our yard, and brought him along to party with us. Named him Walter Melon, pronounced Melone. We snuck the watermelon into the bar, and generally just passed it around and praised him for being a good melon. At first the bouncers didn't care, they came up to us and just told us to be careful with it. One of my friends got pretty drunk and started holding it above his head and dancing with it. The bouncers had enough of our shenanigans and tried to take it. My drunk friend agreed with them that he'd leave with the melon. A few minutes later, my friend makes it back into the bar with the melon under his jacket. He had snuck in through the back and avoided the bouncers. Once they saw the melon again they got pretty pissed lol and kicked us all out. We argued for our melon back but to no avail. Rip Walter. Funnily enough, a group of dudes who left the bar had heard about the melon incident. As we were all hanging outside the bar waiting for an Uber, the dudes drove past, stopped and handed us a pumpkin lol. So we ended the night melonless but with a new pumpkin friend. We got banned temporarily but I could probably go back. Next time you go, bring a tiny pumpkin and name it Gourd. Got banned from the mall when I was younger because I wore an inappropriate shirt that I bought in the mall. I had a Harry Potter wand keychain confiscated at TSA, US airport security, earlier this year. I bought it in the same airport within the security zone on my last flight before that. Well yeah, what if you started casting spells and shit? Like Aeroplane Cadavra. Fancy robes. You a wizard or something? Got banned from a local Kmart about 25 years ago for figuring out that if you just slapped the handle on the old twist-turn candy dispensers that took a quarter it would just give you free candy. Yeah, they call that stealing. Took my photo and everything. Edit, for the record I did in fact know it was wrong and don't dispute on a technicality it was stealing smile. It actually taught me a good lesson honestly. Still though, I was just a kid and being walked into the security office for my photo was terrific. We used to tell a story similar to this as a buddy of mine was 12 and got caught stealing from Walmart. They gave him a life sentence to never go into another Walmart. About 5 years later we finally got him to go into Walmart with us and it was like he was behind enemy lines. Nervous, always looking over his shoulder like a Walmart cop is gonna come arrest him. It is still hilarious. Can't blame him. Walmart jail is rough. Walmart jail is rough. Yep, the official name for inmates at Walmart is employee. Associate. I got mistaken for somebody else whilst on holiday a few years back. I popped into a local shop to grab a sandwich drink and a staff member forcefully marched over to me and yelled, "You're not allowed in here. I've told you before." As she grabbed my sandwich and bottle of water from me, put them back. I of course tried to protest and explain that I had never been in there before and was a visitor to the area, but she gestured for the security guard to come over to escort me out and stood watching us from a distance with her arms folded and a smug look on her face, occasionally shouting if she doesn't go, I'm calling the police. Thankfully the security guard was a little more understanding about the situation and happily looked at my driving license, which proved I lived in a different area. I offered to show it, but said perhaps it would be best if you didn't come in here again. My mom was banned from Costco in the 90s for false identity as well. Someone had stolen her checkbook and bought about $2,500 worth of things at Costco in one trip. The check bounced and Costco put the ban on her checking number. She had everything cleared up with the banks and brought Costco proof that her checkbook had been stolen, but they didn't believe her. It wasn't until a few years later that she got a debit card and attempted to shop there to see what would happen that she was allowed to shop again. Her debit card has different numbers than her checkbook did, so they didn't know it was her. My Phil opened a new checking account and was told by the cashier at a parts store they wouldn't accept a check numbered under 500. The box of checks was in his car, so he found the one numbered 501 and the cashier accepted it. Lots of places that would take checks wouldn't take low-numbered ones, because low numbers meant a new account. Then they made it so you could order checks with any starting number you wanted, so it didn't really matter anymore. The best part was this happened last year at an establishment that runs the checks instantly and give them back. Old corporate habits die hard. Back in the late 1980s, I was in the Florida Keys with a group of friends. I got drunk and went to bed, and some of the guys went out bar hopping. The next morning a deputy sheriff showed up at the place we were renting, told us to pack our things and he would escort us to the county line and we were not to come back. So not only did I get banned from an entire Florida county, I never did get a straight story about what the guys who were at the bar did to get us banned. Holy crap, the Monroe County deputy escorted you all the way to the mainland? Considering how rowdy Key West can get, your buddies must have done something heinous. And in the 80s? Weren't the Keys basically entirely cocaine at that time? Snorted the Keys until they started losing beachfront. Heinous crime indeed. It used to be 100 islands. But then these guys came along. Taking pictures of produce and price signs at a small grocery store while shopping. I was just trying to keep track of which stores had which food at cheaper prices so I could plan my shopping trips. They thought you were a competitor. It actually happens, lol. I worked at gas stations for years, and had to check competition prices. No biggie, but every so often I'd have to check an inside item price, like cigarettes or candy. Was very awkward, and I felt like a criminal. I have to go to another store and shop to get a receipt so our store can show a comparison of theirs versus ours and money you save. They recognize me now and they discount everything. I should do my regular shopping there, lol. The gas station near our corner literally sent one of their employees out to the curb with a telescope every morning to see what the gas prices of the store 3 blocks down were set at, so they could adjust accordingly. I hope the other station knew but didn't say anything. Okay, looks like he's packing up the telescope for the morning. Go ahead and put the real prices out. Haha, right. Escalation would be hilarious. We had that here in Charleston, SC. 2 stations across the street from one another had a policy that required they have the lowest price within right of the store. They eventually colluded and agreed to just have the same price. That's I just work here energy if I ever read it. My family has been banned from a local Marco's Pizza for years because of my mom. She used to have some anger issues and also really loves garlic butter. When the Marcos forgot to include the garlic butter with the order, she called and asked them to deliver the single cup of garlic butter to our house. The Marcos, reasonably, said they can't do that, but she could come get it. She stormed over there with our pizza and proceeded to smear the whole thing on their windows and counters. Haven't had Marcos since. Reminds me of when I worked for a local pizza place. Delivered a pizza for a lady and she asked me where her garlic cup was. I checked her receipt as well as all her boxes to see if it was ordered. She never ordered one and I showed her. She insisted I go to my car and grab one because she knows we keep them in our cars, we don't. I told her I didn't have any and then she starts screaming and cursing at me. Our policy for cursing was, you're able to leave, hang up the phone if it happens. So I said have a nice night and left. I get back to the store and the lady is calling us now. What she didn't know was the store owner was running the store that night because we had someone call out. He answers the phone like normal and then she tells him that your delivery driver ran off like a little bitch. He then says ma'am have a nice night, and just hangs up. Immediately after she calls again and was now cursing at the owner of the store. He then goes ma'am, you're no longer allowed to order from this store. Have a nice night, and hangs up again. All this commotion over an item that was never ordered. I was working a place with delivery a couple days before Christmas one year. A woman threw something at a driver's car so he stopped and confronted them. The girl's BF then starts getting into it with the driver and sucker punches him then runs off. Driver was fine, he can handle himself, but still called the store to let them know why he was running late. A couple minutes later, the girl calls the store saying your driver did and tried to start a fight with us, you should send us some free food and gift cards to our home ad. What she didn't know is that when we received both calls there was a group of police officers in the lobby getting food who heard all of it. So instead of sending food to them, we sent a bunch of officers who arrested the BF for assault. If you remember, this was also a few days before Christmas, which was a Monday, so the courts were already shut down till after Christmas. So he had to spend Christmas in jail.